Good morning, y'all. I don't know why I look so tired. I got good sleep last night, and I'm off today. It's great. But as I sit here drinking some coffee, gosh, that's the best thing. Sitting at home in the morning, drinking a good cup of coffee with no responsibilities. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff to do today, but it's like that I get to enjoy, just sit here and enjoy this. I don't know, maybe I'm getting old. I just love it. It's a nice morning out. Got the windows open, sitting inside at the table because we're going to work eventually on getting some stuff outside. But doing some editing and this, that, and the other. And this is week 7 of 2024 for me. We're finishing with games week. Yeah, first games of the year. And I got to be kind of quiet. My wife's still asleep, but the dog's going to come squeak a toy, of course. This is my life. So a very solid week, kind of feeling. Not a ton of footage of the week before, but we end with some games footage. Dude, really? No. So let's get into the voiceover of what's going on, and I'll fill you in. So we're starting the video off with 4 sets of 4 on the front squat. This is my Monday. So my Sunday was kind of an upper deload day. I kind of took the deload a little bit on the upper body. I was due time, so did a bunch of pump stuff, and then Monday did some weighted hangs, and then right in the front squats, and I didn't show you the rest of the workout, which was some body weight stuff, some leg raises, some step ups, and pull-ups. But these front squats actually, I mean, they look kind of grindy, but they actually felt really good. 4x4 at 370 was definitely a volume PR. I never did that before. This is one of the first times that the video looks slower than how they felt, honestly. Like, this was a very, very, very solid day. I was really happy with how they moved. The rest periods weren't ridiculously long. I think I set a 3-minute timer in between these sets, but I mean, when you're this heavy percentage-wise from 4x4, like, I was pumped. Like, when this day ended, I was absolutely pumped with where my progress had been in the front squat. Couldn't ask for much better. Huge volume PR, especially after last week's, or the week before this, having to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 because I was super crunched on time. After that, we rolled into the next day with speed bench, 7 sets of 3, 175 on the axle, and some inverse curl. And there wasn't much else on this. Like I said, upper deload, hit some inverse curl just to hit some hamstrings that I didn't hit the day before. Then we move into Wednesday, was the heavy day. I threw in the morning before. Oh yeah, I forgot. I did some grip in between, like inverse curl and bench, just playing with the Rolling Thunder handle. This is I think a Titan off-brand Rolling Thunder. I don't know which size it's. The middle one, I have 3 of them. I think this is very comparable to the actual Rolling Thunder size. So this is the Wednesday. I threw wob, heavyweight, and lightweight, and didn't film it because I was just going in and getting it in. It wasn't a lot because I had planned games this weekend, and that first rep there was an attempt at 440 double overhand beltless. Working on the grip, but I pulled 5 singles at 220 kilos, so 484, 485 pounds. And this is where, in my head, was definitely a little off. Like, I was trying really hard, and they still were moving slow. So, like, the week before and a couple weeks before this, deadlifts felt really good. And this day, deadlifts did not feel good. They felt really slow and grindy. Threw a couple med ball throws after this, and that was it. The next day, Thursday, ended up throwing more shot put than planned. I don't have actually the number of reps. I actually wasn't filming them until I remembered, oh yeah, let me film a couple of these. It went okay through shot put. I think it was somewhere around 15 reps. This is one that if I don't throw it, I feel like goes away the fastest, technique-wise, distance-wise, etc. And we had some shot put stuff. You see grilling in the background. It's right before dinner at the firehouse. And then I threw the med ball, 3 sets of 5 here of the 25-pound med ball. The very next day, Friday, I did some hang power snatch. I didn't throw anything. Hang power snatch. I was tired as hell from work, and I think I strained a groin, or the groin strain flared back up really bad. I think it might have been from all this shot put work. Something was really pissed off more than normal. Could have been something at work, but boom. First Highland Games of 2024 technically is the Asheville Celtic Festival. Thanks to Chad Clark. We threw a pro-am group. Just fun to get out and knock the rest off. It's a small field, as you can kind of tell here, so we don't throw lightweight, we don't throw hammers. Cable was very small because we don't have a lot of room. So I think everybody turned it. I think we had, out of 10 dudes, we had like 5 or 6 12s maybe. Open stone was probably my best event comparatively on the day. I think I finished second in that event through 42, so it was nothing crazy. You can see the footing, it's a little wet. especially in the heavyweight, especially with that groin. I had it wrapped up with a knee wrap, but it was just one of those, like, I didn't want to slip and make anything. So it was very cautious. You kind of see slow, no real acceleration, just kind of putting the reps in there. It was more about going out and having some fun. And it was cold as hell. You can see I'm bundled up, sweatpants, sweatshirt, hat. I had hand warmers in the pockets all day long. We had a tent. Chad was awesome. He had a tent. They got a tent set up that had a heater in it. So it was good, all things considered. I put this caber up video earlier. This was fun. Aaron George was out there hanging out, judging and hanging out with us. It was good to see an old buddy out of the games. We try to convince him to come back and throw Masters. Everybody that knows him tell him he should. Just throw a couple times. Doesn't even know to practice. He's good enough to just show up and throw, Aaron. And just go out and have some fun with camaraderie.
Don't make me call a degree on it. I'm recording.
We Braymarred the caber, a couple of us. And, Wob went okay. I think I cleared 14 on like a third attempt. I just wasn't. Part of it was a groin, maybe. Or no, it was 14 on my first. No, it was 13 on my first. I decided to come in early because that groin was a little pissy. Eventually cleared 14 and just wasn't there. I think I took one pull at 15 and called it with that. And then we had a 16-pound bag we were throwing on the day, but I've never had the problems getting the tines and the forks. So you get one sheaf video coming up where I literally just stab it and rip it. I cleared 22 feet and nothing higher. I couldn't get the fork in the bag, and it didn't care because it was a 16. So here's a sheaf, and stay tuned for a little more rambling. So I didn't want to end on that note and kind of give a little more recap of the game. So it's so early in the year. We know February in Asheville is never going to be good weather. The field's small, and the footing is I didn't go last year, but the year before was even worse. It just happens to be rain. It doesn't dry out. Very muddy. So there's only a level of push that everybody kind of does. It's something where you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to get hurt this early in the season. As I'm talking to you now, I've got a couple banged up injuries already, but it's a fun get-together games, kind of knock the rust off, get the juices flowing, get excited about kind of training as we get into the spring, at least in this area, with a little bit more opportunity after that Asheville games as it starts to clear up a little bit for us to throw outside some. But Chad does a fun job with that little games. There's a Celtic Festival that's indoors. They did stone lifting on the second day. So if you guys are interested in any of that stuff, reach out to Chad Clark. It's always in February in Asheville for the next year. But fun little games. I'm not too worried about some of the numbers with that. I've already superseded like the heavyweight. I only threw like 32 feet. I've already superseded that in practice very easily. So I'm not worried about like those first initial marks. I've thrown further in practice already on open stone than 42 feet. Nobody threw it that far that day other than Jonathan Harding, who's just Jonathan. He's a stone guru. So I personally am not too worried about my numbers. Some people may see the numbers and be like, what the hell? Why is this? Why is that? People do that all the time. Unless you're there, you never know what's going on, especially with everybody. So like we didn't throw weights and lightweight. We didn't throw hammers. And like I said, the sheaf bag, I've never had it. Some people threw it fine, but I could not. I don't know what it was. Never had that problem getting it in. And I was like, this is going to hang on my fork. And it hooked crazy. So literally at the one point, I was like, screw it. I was just like, I'm probably going to bomb in the sheaf. And it was at 22 feet. And I literally just stabbed. My forks were like barely in the bag. And I just ripped it from the ground. And it actually went up over. And that's kind of what you got on there. I think it was a 25-foot miss. It's just like, I'm wasting my time at that point. It was the end of the day. I think at that point too, a lot of guys had been cold. It was a little tough with it being so cold. So it was still a fun time. Just got me excited for the season to get out and throw with the guys that I have fun with. See some faces I hadn't seen in a while. Happy to kind of make sure I went ahead and did that. I was on the fence about doing that games, and we'll see how it goes next year. But yeah, excited for the rest of the season. I know I'm still behind. I'm in like mid-February, and we're at almost the end of March. So I'm going to try to bang out the next couple. I know I'm talking for way too long, and nobody's probably listening. There's like 3 or 4 people that maybe listen. But I've got some good feedback from some of y'all that have watched these full-length videos of what some of the stuff that y'all want to see. I just put out that beginner series. I've had that and just hadn't put it out. I'm going to try to do some form critiques on some other stuff of my own. And yeah, cheers, guys, to another week in the books. Get better.